Americans spent $374 billion on prescription drugs last year, but only 17% of us shop around for a lower price. Consumer Reports found that some people spend up to 10 times more than they need to for common medications. The magazine's prescriptions drug editor is Lisa Gill, and Lisa Gill is here to reveal the results of a national survey. Good morning to you, Lisa Gill.
Hi, good morning, guys.
So you say big mistake not to shop around, but for most people, who knew you could shop around?
We were absolutely as surprised when we did this. We had secret shoppers make hundreds of phone calls around the country and discovered enormous price variation around the country, but also within the same zip code.
Wow.
So the example up here in Raleigh is generic Cymbalta, right? So that is an antidepressant very commonly used. $220 at Walgreens, and that was even with a discount, and then $43 at Costco, just a few miles away.
Wow.
Right, and most people would not think, hey, I'm going to pick up the phone and call around, but you could save a bundle of money if you do.
You also found the generic version of a blood thinner costs $16 a month at Costco, but $150 at CVS.
Right.
So why are there such wide price swings?
Right. So we asked Costco that question. We said, hey, why are you guys so much less expensive? They said, look, we don't have drive-thrus. We close on Sundays. We close early on the evening, 7 to 8 o'clock. Just not as many services. But they offer rock-bottom prices. That's their whole thing.
Do you have to be a member, though? You have to have that Costco card to go?
No. We were surprised to find that, too. In every single state, you can go to Costco, fill a prescription, not be a member, and get a great deal.
So is the question then, what Costco is doing here are reasonable prices, and what everybody else is doing are highly inflated prices?
I think that's a great question. CVS Rite Aid will tell you that, look, only a few percent, 2 or 3% of our business is cash business, but that's a lot of people. And if your insurance doesn't cover your drug very well, we discovered about a third of Americans who take drugs in a national poll told us they experience spikes at the pharmacy counter. They spent up to $100 or more. These prices can matter, and not using insurance can save you a bundle. That's the thing that was just incredible for us.
Well, Lisa, listen, we talked to Rite Aid, Walgreens, and CVS Health about their prices. They said this: the drug prices provided by one pharmacy in response to a survey may be the cost under a cash discount program, while a different pharmacy may provide the full retail price for the same drug, which creates an inaccurate comparison.
Sure, no, that's a great point.
What do you say to that?
That's a great point. And so we trained our secret shoppers to ask two questions. How much is the drug? And after they got a price, then they asked, what is the best deal you can offer? And that's where we saw discounts. In fact, in lots of cases, you saw huge discounts. One pharmacy offered us a drug at $75. We said, well, what's the lowest possible deal you could give us? Because we're not going to use insurance. $21 instead. And if you're not using insurance, that's a big savings.
So here's the question. I understand it would be very hard, certainly for someone who's in need of their medication, to be shopping around and calling the CVS, the Safeway, the Rite Aid, the Walmart, which one makes the cheapest drug. Why, though, aren't the insurance agencies that foot part of the bill imposing some regulation or some standards here?
Right. No, it's a good question, and I agree. I think shopping for medications should not be like shopping for a car. You shouldn't have to haggle. You shouldn't have to make comparisons. But the price differences turn out to be so incredible that if you don't have insurance, or insurance isn't working very well, you have no choice. And it's a really unfortunate situation.
And there's no way
it's a good
online you can go
see
these price comparisons?
Yes, online. If you go to consumerreports.org, you can see the comparisons.
Go where?
Consumerreports.org.
All right, Lisa Gill.
Thank you.
Really, this is very interesting information this morning. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.
You can find more of the Consumer Reports investigation at CBSThisMorning.com. We've got it too. Learn how you can get the lowest prescription drug prices and where to shop online.